All right, hello everybody, Dr. Christians. You join me outside Tulip Cottage. So this is a nice new one. This is one of Hope's newest cottages. We're right next door to Beck Cottage, which is one of the ones that our class is going to be looking at doing upgrades at. We're not going to be doing any upgrades here at Tulip, but I do want to show you around a little bit to give you a little bit of a sense of what modern building codes, new construction actually looks like. So we'll head inside here, Tulip Cottage. All right, so as I'm walking in and opening the door, one of the things that I want to point out, this is really thick. So this is not actually a 2x4 construction wall. This is a 2x6. So we have, right, this part behind the door is really wide, 2 inches wider than what you would find in an older home, like all the homes that we're looking at, 2x4 construction, probably many of your homes. This is wider so that we can fit a higher insulation R value. So an older home might have R7 insulation in the walls. A modern 2x4 construction would be R13. This stretches the wall cavity a little bit deeper, gets us up to an R21 insulation. So thicker walls, more insulation. We're gonna head on upstairs and we'll check out the mechanical room and some of the things we can see upstairs here at Tulip. These cottages, the downstairs and upstairs, are 2 separate apartments, so they're both identical. So we'll take a look at the one upstairs where we can hopefully peek around and see a little bit about what's going on here in Tulip. Okay, so heading upstairs here, first thing that we're going to check out is here, the mechanical room. And I'll just point out a few differences. We can't actually see very much because this is all drywalled in, but I do want to point out a few things. One, just take a look at how nicely every little joint here is sealed. That even follows through up to where this goes up through the drywall. You can see that's all spray foamed in. This big trunk vent, that's all spray foamed in very nicely, very well sealed. You can see this vent here where it peeks through. This red is foam, but it's actually a fireproof foam. So a lot of modern fireproofing standards are also adding insulation value and really preventing air leakage. So if we could open up these walls here, what you would find is those little bit thicker 2x6 studs, and anywhere there's a gap or a crack, those are actually caulked so that you have no gaps and cracks. Really trying to get this as well sealed as possible so that the only air coming in and out of the house is air that we want coming in and out of the house. All right, so that's about all we can really see here in the mechanical room. We're gonna go into the main living space and hopefully check out the attic. All right, so we're heading into the main living space. You can see here, nice kitchen, island, but this is what we're interested in, the attic. So I just want to point out a couple things as we're looking up here before we actually go up. You can see all this OSB is holding back the insulation so that that doesn't fall on the attic hatch. You can see around here, this is a foam seal, an air seal around the whole perimeter of the attic hatch to keep air from leaking out up into the attic. And there's the hatch cover. I'm gonna need to turn on my flashlight, but we will climb a little bit further up and see what we see in the attic. Okay, so when you make it up here on the attic, this is the attic hatch. You can see there is foam insulation R25 here on top of the attic. If you look around, this is nice, deep blown insulation. You can see over there, there's some spray foam insulation. That's actually around the ductwork. So that, because this apartment is 2 units, we had to run some ductwork up through the attic, which is a cold space. So you can see in a couple places, they've actually spray foamed that all in. That seals the air inside the ductwork, so your hot air is not just leaking out into the attic space, and also provides that insulation value around that hot ducted air before it makes it out into the living space. So again, a lot of focus on air sealing and insulation here in this newer space. Okay, so that was the inside of a new cottage. Definitely a little bit different than some of the older cottages we're gonna try to make improvements on. Modern building codes, modern construction, we focus a lot more on weather sealing, a lot more on insulation, obviously, to just improve not only the energy performance of a home like this, but also just the comfort. Less drafty, stays warm a little bit better here at Tulip Cottage. So when you guys are upperclassmen, might be a good place to try to be.